What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY and a couple of other tickers. I'm also going to give you guys a very important warning about tomorrow as we have big data coming out, not to mention a big update involving the Cybertruck. But let me just mention that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. So looking at Tesla, I just want to mention that this 20 EMA, the 200 area, is acting as resistance. And so the support holding us up is around this 195 area. We've been going back and forth between this range, at least so far. So the question now remains, what will Tesla do, in my opinion? And the answer is this depends a lot on the data that's coming out for tomorrow. The market's also range bound. The SPY is stuck between 535 and 530, going back and forth and back and forth. But just want to kind of bring your guys' attention to this. Tomorrow is going to be Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. 1 hour before the market opens at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the PPI data report coming out. This is producer inflation, wholesale inflation. This will have a big effect on CPI. Month over month, we're expecting for all items to go increase by about 0.1% below the previous increase rates. And then the same thing with core year over year, we're expecting 2.7 to 3%. Pretty big ranges during these projections between the consensus and the forecast. But if anything, it all depends on the data. So I'm not really a fortune teller. I don't like to just waste too much time trying to predict everything. I just want to say this. I'm not going to try to guess what the numbers will be like and then trade based off that. I will just manage risks amidst this and be very, very careful, not go too heavy on positions during a time like this when it comes to like day trades and scalps. So I just want to make that very, very clear. So if you're holding anything overnight for Tesla or SPY, please be wary of the fact that there's big data coming out overnight and you won't be able to exit the positions on most brokerage accounts until the next day after this data comes out. So have to be holding through the data. If you want to do that, that's your choice, but I just want to give you guys that warning about that. Two more things about the markets. There's one more big catalyst that could affect us. That's what's going on in the Middle East right now. US intelligence is saying that Iran could do a retaliation attack against Israel within the next couple of days. Once again, like I've said in previous videos, I'm not here to give you guys a history lesson. I'm not going over the full history when I make that, when I read this headline. I just want to say that there's a long history between each of these countries and the groups involved, and it goes back centuries, if not thousands of years. So, if you want to research this yourself, you could. It's just not my job to really go about all those details. I just want to read what's happening in the current time, and the market still reacts to that. So we're just going to focus on that for now. So once again, I hope nothing happens. I hope that there's no attack that happens. I hope things just kind of settle like this. But the threats are still there, and the risk is getting higher as the day goes on. The risk is there may be an attack as soon as tonight, if not sometime this week. And the warning is that it may be bigger than what we saw back in April. A big attack could be coming. So we'll just have to wait and see. So be very careful, guys. This could have a big effect on the markets. If there is an attack, the market may gap down tomorrow and see a big drop. It hasn't happened so far, so I'm under the impression it's not going to happen thus far. And when I do my analysis, that's assuming this attack doesn't happen. So we'll just have to wait and see. But if it does happen, there's going to be a big dip. So we'll wait and see. So I just want to just give you guys a heads up about that as well. So for the Cybertruck, there's some new news coming out about the range extender. It's coming out next year. It's going to cost around $16,000, and they're asking for a $500 deposit to reserve your spot if you want to get it. In my opinion, there are some people who are disappointed, other people that think it's great. But here are the details about it. So once again, one thing you have to know is that the range extender is going to take up about a third of the bed. If you're a person or if someone out there is like a person that uses the bed for cargo and a bunch of things like that, it's probably not the best of ideas to get that extra battery pack. But for people out there who are not really using it for cargo all the time and they're interested in extending the range, then maybe it's worth it for them if they're willing to pay that price and if they really want to use it. It takes up about a third of the bed. And there's been a lot of people on Twitter who are saying that, oh, you could remove this yourself. It's nothing to worry about. But that's not actually the truth. And here's exactly why. So it's been stated that Tesla has to be the one to install and remove the battery pack, which means that it will increase your range, but it will permanently remove one third of the bed cargo capacity until it is removed by the Tesla service. So once Tesla installs it, that's it, it's stuck there. You can't get rid of this unless Tesla's team removes it. You have to remember that. I don't know the full details about what Tesla will charge us to remove it or how that really works. I don't truly know that, but just know that we as people can't remove it ourselves. It has to be the Tesla team to do that. Do not fall for the rumors out there about us being able to do it. The good thing about it, for those who do get it, is that it's going to increase the range of the dual motor Cybertruck from 340 to 470 miles, and the Cyberbeast from 320 to about 440. That's very, very awesome. It allows for a lot of growth and very, very cool things that could incentivize a lot more sales. So very, very cool stuff in my opinion. Don't forget that Tesla will be the one installing this. It's not going to be everyday people who could install and just remove it like that. And this could help bring in a lot more revenue if a lot of people like this. So just wanted to give that a shout out, at least for Tesla's innovations and some very, very cool things that they're developing. Now, when it comes to what Tesla's doing, it's very boring right now. Okay, we're just stuck between 195 as critical support and 200 as resistance. We're going to break one of these levels most likely tomorrow, if not by Wednesday, which is when we have CPI. If we get a decent PPI, the reaction is very positive. This could be an inverse head and shoulders, and we could be looking for Tesla to push for 205, a big push up. If not, if we get a very, very lackluster piece of data tomorrow from PPI and the market dips, I'll be looking at this imbalance and possibly like a double top like structure that could be forming, which would take Tesla all the way down towards 190. So just be careful, guys. There is that risk of downside just in case. So I don't know what's going to happen. It depends on the data. So we'll just have to wait and see. This is a very, very simple range on SPY. The yellow line, see this yellow line right here? This is our resistance, this 535 area. I mean, 530 is key support. We did push to 535. I predicted that would happen yesterday. Yes, we got the push, but there's a big but. The problem is now it depends on data. A strong PPI will push this higher for 538 if we break 535, and a weak PPI takes us down to 530. If that breaks, we're coming all the way down to about the 528 area or so, if not lower. So we'll see, guys. I mean, I truly don't know what's going to happen. We are attempting to push, but you have to give it some time just to see what the data looks like. So be very patient nonetheless. For Nvidia, we're looking pretty decent right now, testing this 110 area. We called out a nice push on Nvidia. But will we continue to push above 113 or to 113? Or are we about to get a rug pull and lose 108 to dip to at least 105 or lower? That depends on PPIs. So if you're holding anything overnight on Nvidia, just be careful. Be very mindful of what I'm saying. For Bitcoin, we're in the middle. We're just shuffling between 58,000, 60,000, going back and forth and back and forth. We did attempt to dip and bounce. I did call that out, but so far we're just stuck. So we'll see if we get a big bounce or not. Sometimes Bitcoin does respond to CPIs and PPIs, so we'll see. But otherwise, it's just shuffling right now. There's going to be a big move that's coming. For the QQQ, make sure you watch this 454 area. If we break this after PPI, we're going to fill the gap up to 457. If we lose 447.94, that supports at our 20 EMA, I expect us to dip all the way down to at least 444 or lower. It all depends on PPI. For ES, for those who are interested, it's the same thing. It's very stuck right now. If we break 53.80, we could be pushing all the way up to the 5400s. If we end up losing 53.41, we could be looking for a rug pull. So give this some time. For SPX, we're stuck in the middle. Make sure you watch 53.50 as our resistance. If this breaks, I'd be looking at 53.80 as the resistance to fill the gap. And if I end up losing support, I'd be looking at 5,300 flat for a dip all the way down towards 52.50. So give it some time. We'll see how the numbers end up looking. For Aapl stuck in the middle. Look at resistance all the way up towards 220. We could push all the way up to the 220 area if we remain bullish. We managed to fill the gap exactly as predicted, but if we get a rug pull, watch 215. If that breaks, we're coming all the way down to 212. So we'll see, guys, depending on the data. IWM is not looking as great. It's a little bit lackluster, barely at 205. If we break 206 tomorrow, we're going to be going back up to 208. If we end up failing to reclaim 205 and the data is lackluster, 203 is coming. The chart looks a little bit weaker. Amazon's kind of turning here as well. We tried to break out. We came short of our break of resistance at 168. If we get good data tomorrow, we fill the gap to 170 on Amazon. If not, we're dipping back down to about 160, at least 164 could be coming. So we'll see. Meta is also just kind of lackluster. It dipped a little bit. I did call a little dip coming to Meta. I'd be watching 512. If that doesn't hold, I think we could be going all the way back down to 503. And if we break 520, we'll be looking for a push. It does look a little bit more bearish here. So we'll see. Microsoft as well looks a little more bearish depending on the data. So just want to give you guys a heads up. Watch 404 as support. If not, it's going to dip lower. Same thing with Google. If we end up losing 164, we're also looking for a dip. So just be careful. I'm just here to give you guys a warning. So Tesla, we're doing a decent job at consolidating, but at this point, there's not much I could really say. We just have to wait on the data. I'll give you guys another update on this and kind of give you guys my prediction for how this may end up looking. I would say in a couple of hours, I'll do one more attempt for that. And until then, thank you all so much for listening. Get ready for some big data that's coming out for tomorrow. Take care, guys, and I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Thank you for listening, and peace out.